Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Destiny 2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, Gambit Prime tips. Let's get to it. The season of the Drifter is upon us, and that means Gambit Prime and the Reckoning are here. What do you need to know about Gambit Prime in order to succeed and move on to the Reckoning, get the loot from the Reckoning, and come back to Gambit Prime? In a word, teamwork. Now, specifically, what you need to do in Gambit Prime, first of all, you're going to want to have all 4 players moving more or less in concert. When there is a bunch of ads in an area that you need to take out to get moats, you want all 4 people to move in that general direction, start taking ads out, and you need to power down those yellow bar and orange bar enemies so that your players, your teammates, don't get taken out, pick up the moats, and take them to the bank. That sounds very familiar from Gambit. Now, the difference here is that small blockers are now goblins. They can shield other guys, but they're not very powerful. They can get taken out pretty easily, and that is 5 moats. 10 moats and 15 moats, the blockers are a little bit more beefy, and they can cause a little bit of trouble. Now, in addition to that, whenever there are 2 or more blockers, either on your side or the opponent's side, they will start to drain the bank of moats. So if you have moats in the bank and there are 2 blockers, you're going to start losing moats until there's 1 or 0 blockers. Same thing on the other side. When there's 2 or more blockers, they're going to start draining moats. Now, one of the other changes is that instead of getting to 75, you're going to go up to 100 before you can summon your primeval. And every 25 moats, you have an opportunity to invade. So you are actually able to invade 3 times before the primeval is summoned. Now, if you have someone that is adept at invading, obviously that is the primary choice. If no one wants to, or no one really has the knack for it, then when that portal comes up, you just draw straws really quick and send someone over. Generally, that's not the case. So when you get to 25, 50, 75, you can send someone over. Whenever there's blockers, there will be an audio cue. A little chime will play, blocker will come in, bank will get locked. So you'll want someone, at least one person, to go clear out the blockers shortly after or as soon as possible to get those blockers out. Because like I said, once you have 2 blockers, you start losing moats, and you do not want that to happen. So taking those guys out and clearing out the bank so that you can start adding more and losing less is very important. When there's an invader, you want to make sure that you can find them and take them out. There are a couple extra spawn points for the invader, so there will be more places that you'll have to look. One of the other important things to look out for is the high value target. When the high value target shows up, more than likely it'll be with a group of spawns, so you'll have to deal with the high value target with the other ads at the same time. So do make sure that you go for the high value target, because obviously that is a large number of moats that you can get all at once. Now, once the opposing team summons a primeval, you can have an invader continue to invade basically all the time, and that is very similar to Gambit. Kills heal the primeval and stop progression. So send someone over, slow their progression down, or heal their primeval. When you summon your primeval, the other team can do the same thing to you. They can invade and continue to invade and take you down. If they take you out, your primeval will get healed. So make sure that you do not die, if at all possible, when there is an invader. Call it out if you're in a chat with your team members so everyone knows where the invader is if you spot them. Now, the primeval works differently this time than previous times. Now, in Gambit, you have the primeval and you have 2 envoys, 2 wizards. You take out the wizards, and then you can start getting primeval slayer buffs, and that'll just keep building, and then you can take them out. And once you get a big enough buff, then you can just take them out with just two supers. Gambit Prime is different. There'll be 3 envoys, and they may not spawn all at once. You may take one out, another one will spawn, take one out, another one will spawn. You have a symbol on the screen to let you know where they're at, so look for that symbol go for them, take them out. And if you're not sure if there's envoys there or not, you can look at the primeval, he'll have a shield, or look in the top left of your screen and it'll say defeat the envoys. And then once you get the envoys, and it'll say defeat the primeval. When you go to the damage phase for the primeval, a well will spawn, a well of light. You go into the well of light and you get primeval slayer buff. So go into the well of light, do a lot of damage, and then you'll want to scatter. You don't want to all be in the same spot, if at all possible. That just makes you a large target for invaders. Likewise, if you're invading and you see a bunch of people in the Well of Light, that is a great opportunity to wipe the whole team and heal the primeval for a whole bunch of health. Eventually, one team or the other will defeat the primeval, or time will run out, and whoever has the most damage done to the primeval will win. So either take out your primeval or do the most damage before time runs out. Preferably the first. But that's it. Get your win. Once you get your first win in Gambit Prime, you'll move that quest line and you'll talk to the Drifter. Drifter will give you a synthesizer, and then you can move on to the Reckoning. So whether you win or whether you lose, you always get a synth, and it'll be color-coded depending on how you perform during the match. You'll either get a white, red, green, or yellow synth, and they will be named accordingly, either Invader, Collector, Reaper, or Sentry. So after you get your synthesizer from the Drifter, you'll go into your inventory, hit the details on that synthesizer, choose the synth that you want to use, and then that will create a weak mote. You take that weak mote into the Reckoning, and you can use it as a token or bet when you're playing the Reckoning. The Reckoning, although described as like the Crota Raid from D1, I would put it closer to the Prison of Elders. You're put into an arena, you have spawns throughout the arena, generally 3 or 4 different areas that have spawns, and they will continually spawn. So after you clear out a spawn, after a certain amount of time, they'll come back. You'll have a percentage on the left-hand side that starts at 0, goes all the way up to 100%, plus a timer that is continually counting down. Once you get to 100%, then you will have a boss phase. Take out the boss before the time runs out, and you succeed. Collect your loot. That is when you have your chance to get a piece of armor. And then just rinse and repeat. You can go through the Reckoning any number of times that you want to get armor, and you have synths to do it. And then you go through, and once you run out of synths and you don't have the armor, or you've gotten the armor, you can go back to Gambit Prime and start over again. And that is the gameplay loop. So both modes, you're going to need a significant amount of teamwork in order to succeed, staying relatively close in the Reckoning so that if one person goes down, you can bring them up, because there is a 20-second countdown before you can respawn, would be helpful. You can focus fire on enemies that have shields, and then when the boss shows up, you don't stand on top of each other, but you're relatively close so that you can burn them down. Gambit Prime, you have to move and flow as a team, power down the stronger enemies, bank not just one person at a time, but multiple people at a time. If you can get 4 blockers sent over, it's going to be that much harder for the other team to take those blockers out, and their motes are going to start disappearing. Look for invaders, take out the invaders, invade when you can, take out those guardians, deny motes, heal the primeval, and go for the win. Well, good luck with the new game modes, Gambit Prime and the Reckoning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to ring the bell before you leave to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.